Hi folks, greetings from Hong Kong. Today I'm here with new model and friend Honey. Hi.
Hi everybody, thanks for inviting me in your video.
She said she was so shy she only wanted to say hi, so as soon as you said hi I pulled the microphone back. My pleasure to have you in the video. So today we're going to do something fun. Let me put my mic back on. Going back to something I used to do a lot more of in the past, which is a head-to-head lens comparison. Now you guys would know I rave about the Nikon 200mm f2. It's a beast of a lens. It's my favorite lens. Actually, when I sold out of Nikon DSLR, this was the only lens that I kept. I love it that much. So I don't even own a DSLR now. I still own this lens. When you compare, I love that you don't know anything about cameras, do you? It's like you talking about yoga.
I try to get some response.
Thank you. So you don't stand there like a mannequin. Oh, okay. I think we have a regular. So I've compared this in the past to the VR1, the VR2, and the later E lens. And in my opinion, it still smokes them. But today I have the 70-200 2.8 Z mount lens on the Z6 II. Now everything's got the latest firmware, so in this I want to compare how's the image performance, how's the focus of the two of them, and how's the new FTC adapter doing, sorry, the original FTC with its new firmware as well. So Honey is a yoga teacher, so we're going to do some yoga themed shots first, then head out and do some fashion in the back streets. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
You're so good at this. You said you were shy. Okay, let's do it. Oh, I love the hair. Now, as you can probably tell from Honey's physique, she's in incredible shape and she's actually preparing for her first ever fitness competition. So you'll notice a lot of her poses aren't your typical modeling poses, but they're more designed to show off her physique. To get started, I just shot with the 70-200 and the 200 f2 wide open at their respective fastest apertures. Tried to get some similar images to compare how they're performing here. What do you think? Next, we headed to the central square for a yoga workout. Now, let me just show you some of the slow-mo of her doing it before we get to the stills. So first off, here's some samples taken with the 70-200. This is me going down. Okay. Yeah. Here's the rest of that routine sped up. And then I'll show you some samples of the 200 f2. Now note, you really can't judge the image quality here compressed on YouTube. If you head to the link below, you can create a free account at artnudeportraiture.com if you don't have one already, and download some of the 16-bit TIFF files. Because the NEFs aren't readable yet, I've converted them so you can read them on your own machine. And let's see if my head is cut off.
My hair is good.
No, this is going to be just me. Is my I know my hair is no good. Don't tell me. How is that? No, just me this time. Just me this time.
Oh, okay.
Very shy, this one. Okay, so we have done the yoga setup so far. I have to say the performance is very similar between these two in terms of focus. You know, obviously hand holding this is that little bit more difficult. Certainly I found times where having the flexibility of a 70-200 was really beneficial. I can take this off now. So, you know, it is swings and roundabouts. Do you want the flexibility? Do you want the extra stop and the extra blur that the f2 gives? There were still several times, apologies for the noise, this is Sunday is a day off and there's lots of people having picnics around me. There were still several times where they just couldn't find the face even though it was clearly there because the lens was out of focus. So I manually pulled it back to close to focus, then it picked up the face and the eye on both lenses. So a little bit surprising. So far, my mind thinks that the strike rate was about the same, but I'll need to get them back into Lightroom and see what the actual results were. So next up, we're gonna go change into some fashion outfits and go into the back streets and see what interesting pools of light we can find. These aren't really the lenses for back alley shoots, but we'll make it work. So, we've found a suitably grimy back alley here. It's not, honestly, it's not a situation for a 200mm lens. It would be much better with a 35 or a 50, but that's not what we're testing. So, I'm going to take a long shot and I'll ask Honey to walk around the corner and walk the camera like a fashion model, flicking her hair, trying not to fall over on her heels. And we'll just see how each of them tracks her at f2.8, and then I'll also do the 200mm wide open to keep the face in focus. When she's further away, I'll try and get full body, then I'll go to midsection and then just headshots and shoot it all the way through on high burst mode to see what kind of a hit rate we got.
Whether it's sportswear or streetwear, she just can't help herself. Those kind of bodybuilding type poses come to the front. But it was a really fun shoot, and I think this does demonstrate what I was hoping for, to show you the strengths of the two different lenses.
Eyes to me. So, fun little shoot with the popos, the nannies on their day off, and now the back alley with the kitchen staff running around. Thank you very much. You still feeling shy?
A little bit.
You've got shy at the end. It's normally the other way around. I'm obviously not having a calming impact today. Let's head back in studio and take a look at the sample files. Reminder, if you want to download a bunch of the files, check the link in the description below and you can check them out. You can also see Honey's link to her page on Instagram below.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Hopefully we'll see you again. And let me know what you guys would like to see in future videos from the streets of Hong Kong.
Yeah, let us know. Bye.
My producer now. Perfect.
So, taking a look in studio now, I can tell you it's kind of the same results as my previous test, but a lot closer. The 70-200 Z lens is phenomenal and a great pairing with the Z6 Mark II. You know, you can't expect eye autofocus to be completely faultless. Well, you can and you can't. Something like the A9 Mark II and the Canon 70-200 will give you a higher strike rate than this. But if you're coming from DSLR, this is like a game changer and suddenly it makes the whole process a lot easier. But if you're trained to shoot without eye autofocus, it just makes it even easier. It's not like a crutch that you need to rely on. Both of them, though, are doing really well. To my surprise, the FTC and the 200 f2 was focusing just as fast. Sometimes I felt it was actually getting an even higher strike rate, but it was really close, and I'm really impressed with both of their performance. Let's take a look at some specific comparisons here. So first off, taking a look at this one, even, you think you can shoot in midday and you're going to be always down at your base ISO. Here in the shade, even at f2.8 and 1/200th of a second, we're already up at ISO 800. So here's a shot wide open with the 70-200, and you're not going to see the full detail here. Check out the files, link is in the description below over to Art Nude Portraiture. Whilst you're there, you can also grab a free start to finish lingerie shoot that I did with Yasmin. But so you can see a really nice result. Switching here to the 200 f2, it lets us get an extra stop of light, which yes, does mean you have a shallower depth of field. Again, going back, you can see on the 70-200, the second eye is blurred out, but pretty close. Here on the 200 f2, it's just gone. But it does also mean we can get our ISO, halved, which gives us an overall cleaner result. So that's something else to think about. It's not just about how much blur you're getting, it's what latitude it offers you in your overall exposure. Now, this kind of goes without saying, but the flexibility of the 70-200 is something that you will miss if you go for the 200 f2. Here I was, let's see, 150 mil. To get that shot with the 200 f2, I would have had to back up a third of the distance or so. And with her going through a flowing movement, I couldn't have her just hold the pose, it breaks the rhythm. And I couldn't very easily move further back because there was people sitting there. So the flexibility of the 70-200 really helped. And there were actually shots that I took so this to get the muscularity on her back, also at 150, 165, it gives you all of those options in between. It's not just 70 and 200, obviously. So 170, 155, and then I even got some right out at here, 78 mil, to get the wide shot, to get a frame of her whole environment. And you just can't do that with a prime. But the prime does obviously have some other advantages, being what you can do to the background. It just absolutely decimates it. Okay, so here are two images, both taken with the 200 f2, just to show you what that extra stop of difference does. Here at f2.8, look at the blue and white bag in the background and the Chinese character, really nicely blurred out. But when we step it up to f2, just look at how everything disappears. It's really a significant difference, and I have to say, I'm glad that the Nikon have really lifted their game. The Z lenses are fantastic, although the F mount lenses were fantastic as well. I'm really glad that I held on to my 200mm f2. I think it's going to come in handy in the future. Let me know your thoughts and what you'd like to see in future videos from in and around Hong Kong. Head on over to Art Nude Portraiture and create your free account, download the sample files and see all of the other great content over there, and I'll see you soon.